Hello, welcome back to my channel. That little spark of curiosity right there, that's why coin collectors get hooked. It's the thrill of the hunt, the mystery of minting quirks, and the joy of holding a piece of history that nobody else noticed. And today, we're diving deep into 3 Roosevelt Dime era coins from the Denver Mint that deserve a place in the spotlight: the 1974D, the 1989D, and the 1996D, all in fine condition, all with fascinating stories, and all carrying the potential for some surprisingly high market values. 1974 Roosevelt Dime with mint mark D in fine condition. The 1974 Roosevelt Dime came out during an era when the U.S. Mint was hitting huge production numbers, but still using minting methods that left room for small, and sometimes dramatic, errors to slip through. This was a copper-nickel clad coin, no silver at all, because silver had been removed from dimes back in 1965. The obverse features Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left, with Liberty arched along the left rim, "In God We Trust" tucked just below his chin, and the date 1974 neatly positioned to the right. Just above that date, you'll see the small D mint mark, that little detail that tells us it was struck in Denver. On the reverse, we get the iconic triple symbol image, the torch in the center for liberty, the olive branch on the left for peace, the oak branch on the right for strength. United States of America above, 1 dime below, and the motto E pluribus unum running horizontally under the torch. Now here's where it gets interesting. Over 490 million of these were minted in Denver, so in theory, these should be extremely common, and they are, if you're talking about normal strikes. But the high-speed production and massive output actually increased the odds of errors. Broad strikes show up. That's when the collar die doesn't hold the coin in place properly, so it spreads out wider than normal with no reeded edge. You'll also see off-center strikes from this year, where the design is shifted dramatically but still shows the full date and mint mark. Those can bring a solid premium. Then there are die breaks, often called cuds, which are raised blobs of metal caused by a piece of the die breaking off during use. And one of my personal favorites, doubling. On some 1974D dimes, you can find hub doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust, where the letters appear to have a ghosted shadow effect. In fine condition without errors, you're basically looking at face value. But with a bold, eye-catching error, prices jump fast. A dramatic off-center strike, say 30% or more with the date fully visible, can fetch $50 to $200 or even higher if the error is particularly clean. Collectors love these not just for the visual novelty, but because they prove that even a massive, modern minting operation can let something truly unusual slip through. Now let's move ahead 15 years. 1989 Roosevelt Dime with mint mark D in fine condition. By 1989, the Roosevelt Dime had been in circulation for over 40 years, and remarkably, the design had remained unchanged since its debut in 1946. That's a testament to the clean, balanced look created by John R. Sinek, the Mint's chief engraver at the time. But even with updated technology and tighter quality control, the Denver Mint was producing such high volumes that the occasional error coin still found its way into circulation. The obverse design is the same: Roosevelt's bust, Liberty on the left, In God We Trust below, 1989 to the right, and that tiny D mint mark above the date. The reverse again has the torch flanked by the olive and oak branches, United States of America above, 1 dime below, E pluribus unum centered beneath the torch. These 1989 D dimes are clad, copper-nickel on the outside, pure copper in the core. And they were made in absolutely staggering numbers, over 839 million from Denver alone. You might think that kind of quality control meant near perfection. And compared to earlier decades, errors did become less common. But when they happened, they stood out. One notable issue is the misaligned die strike, where one side of the coin is struck slightly off-center from the other, producing a weird twist effect when you flip it over. Then there's the off-center strike itself, which can range from just a sliver of blank space to nearly half the design missing, with the high premiums going to those that still show the complete date and mint mark. Another fun one from this year is the partial collar strike, which creates the so-called railroad rim effect. The edge looks like the coin has ridges or steps instead of smooth reading all the way around. Die cracks also pop up, usually around the torch or in the lettering on United. And then there are the double-struck coins, where the dime gets hit twice, often with the second strike rotated, making the design look doubled and distorted. In fine condition, a regular 1989 D dime won't make you rich, but add in one of these major errors and you're suddenly talking anywhere from $50 to $150 or more. And here's the thing, by the late 1980s, error coins had become much more collectible because people assumed minting was now too precise to allow them. So when they did appear, the demand was there. That makes 1989 D errors a bit of a sweet spot for collectors who like that modern but still rare vibe. And now, we fast forward to a year that has special meaning in the Roosevelt Dime series. 1996 Roosevelt Dime with mint mark D in fine condition. 1996 marked the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt Dime, half a century of honoring the president who led the fight against polio and whose legacy is literally in every pocket of America. The U.S. Mint even did something special that year. They struck a limited number of dimes at the West Point Mint with a W mint mark, never released into circulation, just for collectors. But our focus is on the Denver struck 1996 D. And there were a lot of them. Over 1.4 billion dimes came out of the Denver Mint that year. The design, of course, stayed the same. Roosevelt on the obverse, torch with olive and oak branches on the reverse. The inscriptions all exactly as they've been for decades. But the errors from this year, some of them are downright dramatic. Broad strikes without reading are one of the standouts. The coin's diameter expands slightly, the edge turns smooth, and it just looks off the moment you pick it up. Off-center strikes are also common enough to be known, but rare enough to be valuable. Anything over 25% off-center with a full date and mint mark can hit the $150 range easily. You'll also find clipped planchets from this year, where the coin blank was cut from the metal sheet too close to an existing hole, leaving a curved bite missing from the edge. There are lamination errors, where a thin layer of the metal's surface peels away, exposing the copper core. And for the real showstoppers, double strikes with rotation. Imagine Roosevelt's face printed twice, at two different angles. It's the kind of thing that makes a casual observer say, wait, is this even real? In fine condition without errors, these are a dime a dozen, literally. But in the error market, the anniversary year adds an extra layer of desirability. Collectors love the symbolism, a coin marking 50 years of the series, yet carrying a mint-made flaw. It's a reminder that even after decades of production, perfection is still elusive. So there you have it, 3 Roosevelt dimes from 3 different decades, all with Denver mint marks, all in fine condition, and all carrying the potential to be worth far more than their face value if they've got the right error. Whether you're hunting through rolls, buying at coin shows, or just keeping an eye on your pocket change, these are the kinds of finds that can make collecting so addictive. And remember, in numismatics, knowledge is power. The more you know about what to look for, the better your chances of spotting that little circle of copper nickel that could be your next great treasure.